Assalamu alaikum, I'm Aisha and you're watching Samaa News. Here are today's headlines.
US President Donald Trump has dropped his proposed 20% reimbursement fee for protecting the Strait of Hormuz. Instead, he says the United States will be compensated through trade and investment deals with Gulf states. In a social media post, Trump added that the strait would remain open to all shipping except vessels linked to Iran, as Washington reinstates a naval blockade targeting Iranian ports and cargo.
The United States has carried out a third consecutive night of strikes against Iran as President Donald Trump reinstated a blockade on Iranian shipping. The US Central Command said in a statement that during the 5-hour mission, US forces successfully struck military targets across Iran, including Bushehr, Chabahar, Jask, Konarak, Abu Musa, and Bandar Abbas. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps said 2 offending supertankers had been struck and disabled in the Strait of Hormuz. Iranian state television also cited the Iranian military as saying it had targeted a hostile US vessel with cruise missiles. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps said a US airbase in Jordan has been targeted by Iranian ballistic missiles, while calling on Jordanians to dismantle American bases in the kingdom. The IRGC said in a statement addressing to Jordanian people that they knew very well that not only does Iran not have any enmity with Jordan, but it also loves the Jordanian people, who understand the pain and oppression of the Palestinian people more than any other nation. Shortly before the strikes, US President Donald Trump warned that Iran will face severe military strikes, while simultaneously leaving the door open for negotiations, saying Washington is taking control of the Strait of Hormuz. Trump said Tehran had failed to honor a memorandum of understanding with the United States and said American forces are going to hit them very hard tonight and tomorrow. Trump suggested that the renewed US military campaign could continue for another 2 to 3 weeks.
On the other hand, Iran's military says the Strait of Hormuz will reopen only when Iran's rights are respected. Army spokesman Mohammad Akraminia said the strategic waterway cannot be reopened through US attacks or war, insisting that respecting Iran's rights is the only solution. He also reaffirmed Iran's pledge to avenge the assassination of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Shipping through the Strait of Hormuz has fallen to its lowest level since the US-Iran agreement in June. According to marine traffic data, only 4 vessels have crossed the strategic waterway since this morning, including an oil tanker and 3 container ships. The ships reportedly concealed their destinations and ownership details after transiting the strait.
1 Indian crew member has been killed and 8 others wounded when 2 Emirati oil tankers were struck by Iranian cruise missiles in the Strait of Hormuz, in the latest escalation in the strategic waterway. The United Arab Emirates Ministry of Defense said the tankers were targeted in the southern lane of the strait, while in Omani territorial waters. It said the dead crew member was aboard the Mombasa. The ministry said of the 8 wounded, 4 were seriously injured. 6 of the wounded were Indian nationals and 2 were Ukrainian nationals. The Indian Foreign Ministry has said that it has lodged a strong protest with Iran after summoning its deputy ambassador over the killing of an Indian seafarer in the Strait of Hormuz. It said in a statement that 10 other Indian seafarers were wounded, of whom 2 are reported to be seriously injured. It added that India was deeply concerned by the attacks and the targeting of commercial shipping and civilian infrastructure in the region must cease.
Israel's Benjamin Netanyahu has warned Iran against launching any fresh attacks on Israel, saying Tehran would face a much stronger response. Speaking in Dimona, Netanyahu declared that the days of Israel absorbing attacks without hitting back twice as hard were over.
Lebanon and Israel have resumed talks in the Italian capital, with Beirut hoping for progress towards securing an Israeli withdrawal from South Lebanon under a US-brokered deal. although expectations for swift progress were low. Officials said Lebanese and Israeli officials will meet at the US Embassy in Rome on Tuesday and Wednesday to set out how to implement the framework deal. One of the officials said moving the talks to Rome would make it easier for both countries' delegations to consult their governments for guidance as they negotiated. Yemen's Houthi movement has fired missiles at Saudi Arabia after accusing the kingdom of bombing an airport under its control, breaking a 4-year period of de-escalation between Riyadh and the Iran-aligned group. Saudi air defences intercepted missiles aimed at the kingdom's southern region, while the Houthis said they had targeted Abha International Airport in retaliation for strikes on Sana'a Airport. The spokesperson for the Saudi-led military coalition in Yemen said missiles launched by the terrorist Houthi militia towards southern Saudi Arabia had been intercepted. Waterbombing aircraft skim the River Seine as firefighters struggle to contain a forest blaze south of Paris, raging into its 3rd day amid a spreading heatwave that has left swathes of Europe primed for more wildfires. As France battled flames, the 3rd bout of extreme heat this season that is also affecting Britain and Spain continued its progression into Italy, where authorities were bracing for temperatures reaching 44 degrees Celsius in Sardinia this week. According to the Reuters climate monitor, the average high of temperatures across Western Europe was 29.4 degrees Celsius on Tuesday, 6.3 degrees Celsius higher than the seasonal average high between 1961 and 1990.